Mould, Sunshine Rock. Alright, well, at least with this record, I kind of don't entirely have a whole lot to say. But unlike Weezer's Black Album, this is one of those rare cases where that's not entirely a bad thing. Especially if it gives you a chance to sort of talk about, or at least somewhat recommend bands like Husker Du and another Project Sugar, and maybe some of the recent stuff in this past decade that Bob Mould has done with his solo career. Also, I didn't know this until seeing Rock Critics review, but apparently he used to write for WCW, which, you know, back in the day, you know, but like pre-invasion shit, you know, and you know when like NWO mattered, and you know Wolfpack and all that shit, you know, for you wrestling nerds out there and fans and stuff like that. Anyway, I've been hearing that this album's technically dad rock. They're not entirely wrong, especially when you're looking at Exhibit A being more so Camp Sunshine, and to some extent when you have, especially even more so with the semi-postcard, it's to the point where it comes off almost children's music, in that They Might Be Giants kind of way. Though sonically speaking, this is very much in the vein of of what made Husker Du, and of that college rock and that early 90s sort of alternative indie rock kind of a thing. In that sort of, and this one definitely is called Sunshine Rock for a reason, because in the sense of like thinking sunshine pop, maybe more power pop-esque, kind of alt rock and stuff. Basically, Husker Du's sound, and even to the extent of Sugar, I would say almost might have been besides maybe even the Pixies themselves, has kind of been an influence towards Weezer in a way. It's also possible maybe the Replacements might have been. You could definitely possibly throw Dinosaur Jr. out there too. This is in that wheelhouse, though I wouldn't exactly consider Dinosaur Jr. full-on dad rock necessarily. It's just Dinosaur Jr. doing what they've always been doing, and if you liked, you know, what Dinosaur Jr. was doing back then, you'd more than likely would probably appreciate what they've done in this record. What Bob Mould himself has done with this record. And yeah, his vocals are required, though my main issues isn't really so much in the sense of the dad rock stuff aspect of this. In fact, I almost feel like, you know, because Rivers is a dad, and he's kind of, I don't mind, I admit I'm sort of man-child, but somehow the stuff he talks about in Blue Album ages far better when you're talking about Weezer here. But with Bob Mould's stuff, I mean, he shows his age. I mean, he's like in his 60s, he's already probably had kids and stuff, or he's just now had kids that are, I don't know if they've all grown up, but, you know. At least I think he has kids. I'm not entirely sure. I should have, and forgive me, I didn't do my research entirely for this one, in terms of what he's dealing with, but, yeah. Also kind of one of these type of things, where my lyric sheet's like this. But yeah, for the most part, you do get some orchestral strings, and it's definitely more in that sunshine pop way, and in ways that kind of, I guess, in that sunshine pop, power pop kind of a thing that artists more like the Beatles, like what the Beatles have been more known for, or even to the extent of possibly something like that Pet Sounds sort of era Beach Boys, that more Wouldn't It Be Nice, but I wouldn't say it's so surfy rock-esque or anything like that necessarily. As that it definitely is more apparent in what I had said in comparison to like the Pixies kind of way. And I mean, like I said with the lyrics, when it comes to sunshine, wait, I was trying to figure out what the black thing there's that thing, but yeah, once there's sunset, there's sunshine rock it's definitely sort of something you would definitely... And it's good because it's almost like, for most part, his music seems to age with the people that had been fans of them when they were younger, and now that they themselves are probably more parents or dads or whatnot, they may have a chance, and given that they choose to go in a way that would fit more for dads themselves and something that they could still have their kids listen to. And it seems Bob Mould rides that sort of fine line, and is still very much sonically a very radio friendly in the sense of mostly for college, in the sense that is usually within college radios or more community radio type stations that's formatted style is similar to that of college radios. And it definitely is and I'm not surprised, because I've heard the single from the last record of, like, I Don't Know You Anymore. That was a definitely fun, bouncy kind of a thing, and this definitely has that sort of vibe and songs that really pop out sonically the most. Tracks like What Do You Want Me to Do? Sunshine Rock kind of does. Sunny Love Song. Lost Faith is definitely one of those. There are darker moments in tracks like I Fought, Sin King, Lost Faith. But yeah, Camp Sunshine, Send Me a Postcard, and Western Sunset do kind of have a more mellower type of... It's a good mellower, but not like soft rock. It's definitely still more in a more edgier hard rock, kind of punk rock kind of a thing. If you ever wondered what certain acts like your Replacements or your so on and so forth, like those type of acts, those are good. That's the good stuff there. And for the most part, there is definitely some, how do I put this? Like, I'm gonna read some cheesy lyrics. Let's go with it. Let's go with it. Let's go with it here. And we're gonna start with Camp Sunshine. Greetings from the camp where every day is fun, the weather's warm, and everyone is cool. We get to camp at 10, we play all day, and then see, it's like I said, children's. Sounds like it comes off like it's meant to be children's music, but or at least done in a dad's perspective, kind of, sort of. Though I wouldn't say it's in a way that comes off less on the sheet. Though it's handled, if there is a recent act that has handled things more tastefully in that kind of way, it would be something in that children's music-esque way. Have been White Stripes with We Are Gonna Be Friends. I don't ever know if he's bothered to cover that, and I've never bothered to check and see if he has. Though it would be interesting if Bob Mould did. Vocally, he's an acquired taste, and that's the one thing about this record that is kind of a bummer, because for some reason, through Bandcamp and through having listened to this on CD, but the CD is best, it's clearly best for it because it comes off sort of like a gapless record, and the mix is the issue on the vocals. They seem to pop out better because Merge Records is apparently a YouTube thing, and it's clear that their stuff works better streamed through YouTube, as opposed to being streamed through something like Spotify or something where you do get kind of cut-offs and stuff. And yeah, the better tracks are like What Do You Want Me to Do or something, which clearly I think is more dad rocky. I guess it's sort of like something of a talking to your wife or significant other, and to the extent of like, what's the honey-do list or something. But it works in the sense that when he says the line itself, it's catchy, it works. It's catchy, it's bouncy, it's fun, and that's kind of what you want. Even if you're going to go for the more children's music or dad rock kind of vibe, it works. In fact, at least he admits to where he's at in his own, at his age, at the age that he is, and he has some level of sense of maturity, which is something you can't really say about where Rivers Cuomo is at with Weezer, which you thought to an extent he kind of had promised he would have gone something more. I feel like to an extent what Bob Mould has been doing here, and some essences of what he has shown even on live sets or some singles I've heard through college radio or community radio stations, that he honestly has proven that he can, that he's known how to make some solid quality, at least make music itself quality, even if the lyrical content may not be, and his own vocal style even isn't exactly for everyone. But I feel as though this still, despite its cheesiness, it still has it doesn't take away this pure essence of fun, even in the sort of darker moments of its music. It's still well thought out the way it's done musically. It's definitely can be considered an acquired taste, but it somehow works better here, and he's not trying to go for trends or nothing. He's sticking with what he knows, and knows that works, and it's working. I feel like what he's doing here since this decade, and how his quality, in terms of quality in the musical content itself, has been consistent in a way that I wish that Weezer would have done with Everything Will Be Alright. And I'm sorry I have to go back to that, but that's my point. And if Bob Mould, even at his cheesiest, is still making better quality content with his music, then why the hell can't Weezer do that? And it's not that they weren't able to do that with that and having followed it up with White Album. It's just they weren't able to be consistent and in the quality of the content, and actually, put out the music in a way that actually works, instead of just trying to shitpost us and make a meme out of it, But overall, musically, I can say it rocks, but what keeps me from saying that and putting it more as a thumbs up is some of the lyrical content. And I can say it's not exactly for everyone, but for what he brings. But for what this definitely, the rock in Sunshine Rock is definitely there. And the Sunshine, any more sunshiny sort of poppier type elements is there as well. Overall, I enjoy this effort, and it does deserve a thumbs up for sure. At the very least, and given the way that where I'm going trajectory-wise this year, it seems, I could potentially put Switchfoot's album over this, but I got a little more out of this, and I know, I do get it. It's a fun album. I want to say rocks it. I want to say that it rocks. I can't say it's masterclass, but for sure I can give you a thumbs up all the way and say it's definitely at least a solid, if not potentially good record for what it is, for what it actually is. And that's all I can ask for, and at least Bob Mould tries to bring it. I just wish that someone would tell him to turn up the vocals on him. Of course, it's also could be the fact that maybe it's very forwarded, because my front speakers suck right now, and all I got is the back here in the car, so there's that too. So, and that's, I think, the problem. Plus, I think that means I'm more closer listening to mono, and it's clear that your vocals, and if I am in that case, then yeah, you need to have put your vocals a little more forward, more up front, and not buried into the sound of the music. And the only time that it seems the vocals pop out the best has been, technically, I guess, what would be the first lead single in the track Lost Faith, which lyrically I do seem to sort of relate to in a way. I'll get into, fuck it, I'll pop it back out. Let's talk about this. Or at least there's certain moments in the song, where I even had moments that remind me of stuff in my sleep. I tell myself anything, everything, when Cerseal, no words said. I fray like worn out threads. Fret the less I mend. I've lost faith in everything. I can see right through myself. When they're no. Now I know why everyone has turned away from my despair. I sense I've let down friends, all mistakes, all I've said. I've lost faith in everything. You really gotta stop this now. And then, of course, he tries to talk himself up, Stop this now. Now, you get too far gone when you stray from the ones you love. It's so hard to find your way back home. Life is so complicated. Don't let your hopes, dreams disappear. Baby, we all lose faith in troubled times, and you be right here every day. I ask myself, how and when does sadness end? many ways to hurt myself. Lost again, lost again. I down friends, last mistake, no time left. I lost faith in everything. Everything I really got. And then, of course, you go back to the chorus of really us now. Lose faith. It's the turnaround. I know we all lose faith from time to time. You find your way back. Now, maybe this hurricane is made of silver. Maybe the hills we climb are laced with gold. We all lose faith in troubled times, but you got to find your way back home and sleep. And then, of course, goes back to where everything was said from before. And that's kind of where I'm at with this. And there's certain moments in the lines that I somewhat would like to say I could kind of relate to a little more, I guess. With that one. But you can tell there's, with age does come some sense of wisdom. So you can kind of get some of that out of it, But overall, like I've said, and I've taken too much time, I thought this was going to be short, sorry. Though also, if I'm going to talk Husker Du, everyone's talked about Centercade. I couldn't really get into it entirely. I would probably have gotten into their last album before he had formed Sugar, maybe. And, of course, that leading into what would become of Sugar, I guess. Which I've yet to get into that band itself, but, it's fine. It's kind of more so of what you're kind of getting here. Though here does seem, it's more the lyrics that kind of maybe not for everyone and more for a specific demographic, which is more the demographic he's essentially in at this point. Your dad, granddad kind of a thing. So, but yeah, overall, like I said, it sums up. What did you guys think of this album from Bob Mould, Sunshine Rock, and would you be even interested in wanting to, check them out, maybe check out what he's done in his past works like Husker Du, or, maybe bring up a discussion, maybe recommend what albums you'd think is some of the best amongst Bob Mould's body of work within Husker Du or maybe Sugar. What do you all think about the band? And, leave a comment below, let me know. As always, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell as well for notifications. Rock that like button if you like this video with thrust if you must. And do the same, as well as follow on my Facebook, link in the description below. Hopefully it works. And as always, keep it random, keep it real, keep it rocking, and I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully, in which I'm catching up on stuff, and I'll probably also in between here and there, I'll probably do a Captain Marvel and another Schmodown Rocks. And that's pretty much the update on that. And, yeah, keep it random, keep it real, keep it rocking, and take care, y'all.